versus Protoss players, starting with Rain, one of the most consistent players in all of Pro League, with 15-7. His win rate versus Protoss is 5-4, but taking 4 out of his 5 most recent matches, including that Protoss versus Protoss against Hero that landed SKT into the finals. Barely. My favorite game, my favorite one set of StarCraft of all time. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Super sick.
That was one of the most unbelievable games to cast. I was so happy to be there with you guys, and you know, him coming out here again, him in a PvP, I feel the energy from this guy. He looks somber, just like everybody else getting in the booth, because they all know it's so important. They're all so nervous, but they still give it their all, and he is going to be as well.
Absolutely, and I actually think he has to win today. He has to win this match for SKT. If he loses this match and leaves it up to Dark, things could go very wrong very, very quickly. Yeah. It's all up to Rain to change the momentum now.
Now, Rain is an OSL champion, all right? This guy has won a championship at StarCraft 2. He's been to many finals, all right? And you know what Zest's nickname is in Korea? We even got to hear it earlier in that intro video. He is the Kingslayer. He's known for killing champions. He's known for killing consistent top-level players. He beat Sue. He's also himself a GSL champion. Everybody, that goes Rain here. With his odds stacked against Zest, can he continue the KT roster streak? How nervous is Rain? He's not the type of guy to normally get nervous. He's very consistent, very calm.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really ready for this match, honestly. They're down 0-2, but I don't think that's going to affect him.
All right, guys, game number 3, Rain versus the Kingslayer Zest here at the SPL Grand Finals for 2014. Let's get into the game.
Up here in the top left in the blue, one of the Protoss players we got over here for SK Telecom, he is Rain.
There's a shot of Zest. And down here, the bottom right, Zest himself for KT Rollster. The bottom is King Sejong. Really surprised you don't see these two on Frost. It's Zest, as already mentioned. So
that's right.
There's Rain to the top.
There's Rain.
All right, so there
He's
you
got
go.
a Picari Sweat bottle in there, man. He's not messing around.
Not one bit. And I mean, looking at this map, let's go into the map a little bit, because this, I feel like this kind of favors Rain and does not favor Zest. We've seen Zest in the past struggle in the late game PvP especially. The match that comes back to me is against SOS on Frost specifically. He just didn't have the right kind of composition going into it, and it really suffered in the late game. He just felt like he just didn't have enough experience, or he just wasn't thinking in this right way.
Right.
And going into this map, it's definitely going to go to 3 base. It's going to go to the kind of the late game, unless some sort of crazy tech happens, if we see DTs or some sort of huge damage early on. So we're going to have to wait and see if Zest has really fixed his problem with the late game PvP. And I mean, Rain, we know Rain is already great at PvP late game. It's where he shines pretty much in every matchup.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very interesting game.
I remember a game out of Zest actually on this map against Billowy. I don't know if you remember this, you guys, but in one of the finals, he faced off against Billowy when MVP was doing really, really well. I think that was in round 2. And Billowy actually just went for straight up 3-gate pressure, and Zest went for like some weird kind of Oracle build that was hidden. It was unnecessary, and Billowy just punished him for it. I really hope he's not going to do that today.
Yeah.
Just a thing that comes back to mind for me, for Zest on this map at least.
Yeah, Zest definitely does have some issues adapting to compositions, and that's why I would expect that in this matchup, because he probably, you know, here's my opinion. I think actually he might have thought Sulky was coming out on Sejong, so he's chosen. You know, the coach is talking to him saying, "Are you ready for Sulky?" I think Sulky is what we're going to see on Sejong. It seems like a reasonable choice. You know, if he doesn't go on Overgrowth, there's a high chance of that. Maybe we see Sue. We've seen Sue play on this map a lot, actually, in this matchup. So thinking about that, I think he was probably thinking about playing ZVP. Now he sees Rain's opponent. He's like, "Oh God, that's not what I wanted." And well, let me finish my thought really quick before we talk about this. I feel like he's going to do something aggressive, but it's actually a hidden Stargate here.
Wow.
Coming out from Rain, not Zest.
Wow. This kind of Stargate, usually when you make it this early, it's easily scoutable by a probe scout. He's able to get in before the Stalker comes out, before anything wards that out. Could even be scouted by that Mothership Core as well, but he puts it in such a place that's going to make it a lot harder to scout. Let's see if Zest is able to pick up on that.
Yeah, exactly. It really is such a weird place to be putting buildings. It's such a great way to hide it. And we don't see any sort of scouts other than Mothership Cores. Both players playing very greedy, kind of standard sort of play here. We'll have to wait and see how deep this Mothership for Zest is going to go, if he can spot this Stargate. Most likely going to be Oracles, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Oracle's the most likely path, and yeah, it is. Oracle gives you a lot of flexibility on this map, especially if it's unscouted by your opponent, because you can use it to control it, whether he's pushing you or not. You can always harass, you can scout with it, it can give you detection. It's a very high utility unit. It always doesn't come with a big punch, you know, it's not a fighting unit, but it can definitely control the game and put things into your favor and try to control how your opponent has to respond.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't scout it at all, they will get shut down completely. And something really interesting we didn't really get to see on the Observer was that this Mothership Core hanged around the natural for so long, and that Nexus was so late, he's like, okay, he went for a tech. There must be something happening. That he's obviously gone for something because this Nexus was way too delayed. So he'll be gearing up for that and getting one of his own Stargates.
I wonder if he'll just go blind Phoenix here. Well, it's not going to be blind because I think the Oracle's going to arrive right before the Stargate's even done. And he doesn't show the Oracle. Swings around here. He's going towards the main base. Sentry is exposed here, and he's going to get it. Boom! Down goes that target. And even as the Nexus cannon probe goes down, will he save the Oracle? The answer is yes, at least for now.
It stopped.
He's not microing it. The Stalker's still really close.
Oh.
And he does get it away.
Scary, man. By the way, back at home, he started his own Phoenixes, whereas Zest is also making Phoenixes. So we're going to see a bit of an air war here. And the robotics is done here for Rain as well.
So now
he has the faster tech to Robo.
Yeah, it's getting very interesting already. I mean, Phoenixes are a little bit behind for the SKT player. Obviously going for Oracle first. Zest going straight into the Chrono Boosted Phoenix. So he should have the Phoenix count. But it's going to be still like the defender's advantage. It's going to be interesting to see how many they make. Are they going to go into that huge amount of Phoenixes we see on some maps?
Yeah, that's the question. Because sometimes this matchup ends up being a Phoenix versus Phoenix war, where you even see second and third Stargates add sometimes, Anion Pulse Crystal upgrade and things like that. But usually one player decides to stop making Phoenixes first. The other player has to decide if they want to keep making Phoenixes, try to commit to that harass, or how they transition. Because there are certain counters to Phoenixes, obviously. Blink Stalkers can be quite helpful. Charge Zealot Archon is basically the direct counter if you want to talk comps here. And look at that, with the Nexus Cannon and Defender's advantage here, they're not going to be able to stick around for very long with those.
Yeah, and has no real scout of the Phoenix count of Rain as well, which is a very, very important thing to note. Because he doesn't know if he should just keep making Phoenix now, or if he should stop, and how many are going to be out in the map from Rain. It could be a huge surprise at some point.
Oh, certainly. All right, Observer comes in here. I see the Forge.
Yeah, also sees the robotics facility coming up.
And it's also really important that he sees the Forge start. So he also knows the exact time the upgrade will start and finish. There's no mystery there. So that can really give him some extra knowledge going into future timing attacks he may want to do. Good pickoffs here, and he should be able to get out. Has a better Phoenix count, but better micro, actually, from Rain.
Yeah, Zest on the run there wasn't truly able to micro all those Phoenixes pretty well, but nicely done by Rain. Gonna add 2 more gates here. Just have the robotics pay up as well.
Yeah.
We see Twilight Council out of Rain here.
I find that choice odd.
As do I.
Because unless he wants to rush out Archons here, the Temple Archive is just going to accomplish nothing for him. He doesn't have +1 yet. Blink is too late to be useful, and, you know...
I guess it's going to have to be Charged Zealot.
It's got to be Charged Zealot Archon. The DT is obviously not effective in this stage of the game, most likely. I mean, if you can hope he gets by, maybe. I just don't really think that's the plan here. It's too much of an investment for something that has such a high risk involved. Okay, so there's a Temple Archive, so it seems like we're going to see that Charged Zealot Archon, that counter comp I was talking about. But Colossi, if you can get enough of them, is pretty good against this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, mass Colossi is really the late game you want to get to. If you can get to like 6+ Colossi, you're going to beat just about any army, and you're not going to have much trouble at all. So going for that early on is a great idea, and I mean, when you have kind of a decent amount, you can go for that third pretty safely on this map. You're always going to have a great position defending, so I kind of really like where Zest is at right now.
Zest has also been a much more confident player with his Phoenixes, always attacking, even into his defender's advantage, while stopping Phoenixes first and going to the Colossi. So he's like, you know, very, very much in control of this game right now, and I feel like the onus is on Rain here to try to make something work with these charged Zealots. I'd like to see a third base out of him with this. He's actually even going into a Fleet Beacon. Okay, decides to cancel the Stargate, but does have the Fleet Beacon continuing for now.
Interesting here.
You think it's for Tempest?
I think it's for more Phoenix. He's making Phoenix again. He might actually just go for a huge Phoenix advantage here and really surprise what Zest has. And this could really work considering Zest is going for Colossi.
Yeah, sometimes we have seen, say, the Choya double Stargate Phoenix play where you hide your Stargate and suddenly surprise. In this case, he's doing it with only one. And you might even be able to have enough Phoenixes to burst down the Colossi if there's not enough Stalkers in there. It takes a long time, but if he finds a Colossi in the middle of the map, could maybe take a trade there. It's also making Immortals, which are going to be decent against the Colossi as well.
Oh, we might see Phoenix get caught out here. It's going to be a big move.
Ooh, Phoenix fight going on in the middle of the map here, and Rain's got much more and the much better micro here. Takes a big victory there out on the map, and he's going to try to cut them off here as well.
And it is Tempest we see here, actually, by the way. You can see it on the production tab. He's going into Tempest here, knowing that that's going to be a really good answer for these Colossi.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the hard counter to Colossi. And I mean, Zest has been so active with these Phoenix, but sometimes it's such a double-edged sword, because if you get caught out like this, if you're like caught out on the map like and you're behind your enemy Phoenix, you're just going to pretty much lose them all. It was lucky that he got 3 out in time, and he's kind of just hiding behind the main now.
Yeah. All right, Phoenix is still poking around here. Both players, in fact. He wasn't able to deny that Nexus, and I like the Nexus here because it keeps the focus away from his main army, which is where his Tempests are going to be. Also, he has Charge, which gives him a little bit more flexibility for Harass and a little bit more of a mobile army. So the third base here, I think, totally makes sense.
Look at this, not responding well at all.
Much damage going down.
So many probes. Rain getting up to 16 kills. But Zest, at the moment, is going for an attack. There's only one Tempest here at the moment.
It's actually a lot of Zest army here. But, you know, does he have the right comp? He cannot lose that Warp Prism. Losing that Warp Prism would be so huge right now. All right, it's all down to this. One Tempest out needs to go ahead and start shooting. And there he goes. Colossi pull back immediately. Wants to get that Tempest. Very careful control here. Another Tempest pops out from that Stargate at a perfect angle. First Colossus is down. Even the Phoenix is getting involved over here on that Colossus. And, you know, it's actually a tough fight to call because a lot of those units of Rain are bunched up, not able to fight.
But, you know, Zest, he's going to have to back off here. He's lost way too much. The Colossi going down here. The composition just way too good here for Rain, it looks like. But another wave in, a warp in here of Zealots will be enough to push him back for now, but he warps in his own in the back.
He doesn't have Charge. He doesn't have enough. And keep in mind, there's a third base here.
Exactly. And I mean, the composition here is just completely hard counted by what Rain made. That one Tempest did so much work. Even that one Phoenix was focusing down the Warp Prism the whole time. And I mean, and the defender's advantage alone also helped greatly. And now we have this point where we got Charge Lot, Immortals, Tempest against Zealot, Stalker.
This composition is perfect for this map too, in my opinion. Like, looking at this, just think about how much you can use that high ground area with the Tempest against an attack like this. Even against an attack at the third, you can just do so much. And he's pushing through. This game is essentially over. I mean, he's leading 50 supply right now. Moving across here.
Seen two Archons morph in really close in a really dangerous position right now.
They're going to take so much damage here right at the start. GG! SKT trying to get back into this. That's that. Rain always does this, by the way. He always grabs his shirt and waves his finger.
So proud of Rain here. The crowd is
chanting his name. That finger wave. The ace player here for SKT is able to take the first win and put them onto the scoreboard here.
Yeah, it's such an important win as well. He had to take this win to really put the momentum back into SKT. They didn't want to leave it all on Action's shoulders. Sorry, Dark's shoulders. And I mean, it's so important to see this, and it was kind of expected. Rain, very experienced in this kind of map, great at PvP, and yeah, such an important win.
Zest looking noticeably uncomfortable with that loss. Was hoping to continue that streak, get it to 3-0, but I feel like a lot of people knew, a lot of people felt that Rain was going to take that one. Definitely the better PvP player. We saw it there in that game. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah. I gotta say, man, just looking at this, let's talk about Rain in general right now. I feel like he's really mastered Stargate play in this matchup. Knowing how to open the oracles. We've seen him do this on Frost, where he hides the Stargate. He uses board rate-oriented compositions to take fast thirds. He's actually really figured the matchup out in a way consistently that no one else really has in Korea right now, using Stargate play as a standard opening rather than kind of a harass-oriented, I don't want to say gimmicky, but it just hasn't really become a staple in the matchup just yet. So always viable, but he's making it work. He's cutting out the Blink Stalkers, going into Charge Archon, and making Colossi look like a silly choice, essentially.
Absolutely right. It was really, really intelligent play, identifying that it would be Colossi, going straight into Tempest, as well as getting that Phoenix control for the air. I mean, everything kind of went perfectly for Rain. He knew exactly what Zest was planning, and he just crushed it.
Huge crowd once again.
Yeah.
So many SKT fans. I'm sure they're happy with that win.
Oh, definitely. They've got to be, because things are starting to look pretty dire there for a little while. All right, here's Bunky giving a cheer out of the crowd. Not sure what his girlfriend's name is, but she's doing it too. Doing that dance, because the time is now for SKT to bring back that momentum. Dark, also heavily favored in my opinion over Action here. But you know, Action really has played a lot of good games recently.
He has.
Impressed a lot, coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. I was looking back at the statistics before I made my choices, as I always do. And I was actually really impressed with Action's results lately. So I was like, I kind of went for Action in my predictions for this next match. And I feel like he could take it over Dark.
It could be, man.
I'm feeling that as well. He's playing really good in ZVZ. I mean, he's looking good in other matchups as well, but especially ZVZ, taking down some good opponents. And I'm really feeling him in this one as well.
You know what? The only real tragedy of today has been, in my opinion, the lack of a TVZ. We don't get to see any TVZ unless the ace match. I was really hoping to see that. I wonder why it just happened to line up that way. If you think about it, like, there's a lot of reasons, but...
Yeah, it's kind of a shame, to be honest. I mean, TY and Flash obviously have their reasons for playing against Protoss on these maps. They obviously wanted to snipe Protoss more than anything else, in my opinion. So it kind of, I can kind of understand it.
Alrighty, guys. Players getting ready. By the way, I want to say again, get hyped, get people in here. If you haven't come down here yet, I guess you couldn't find a bicycle to steal, but make sure that you
Find a scooter or something.
Do not turn the TV off. I was scared a lot of SKT fans are going to turn TV off if Zest won that game and made it look like SKT had no chance. Never give up, never surrender. Both these teams are super high caliber. I'm actually feeling like this is going to an ace match. Like, it's like Chekhov's gunman. It's in the story for a reason. It's going to happen. I'm feeling it. But let's see if we can get there.
I think we will, honestly. I mean, it's only too perfect. It's like too perfect. It's going to happen.
It's just like, it's the Telecom Derby rule, man. It was too perfect. It had to happen. Here we are, SKT versus KT. Back-to-back top-tier teams. Always have been the best. 2014 Pro League Finals.
Well said, well said. And yeah, it's just getting better and better here. No one could have thought it'd actually get better and better, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get better and better until we have that ace match.